G'day guys, Luke here. Welcome back to another video. Now today's video is a Reptile update for September of 2020. Let's jump in and see what's going on. Before we dive into the Reptile guys, I just want to address something. Unfortunately, the last couple of months I've been dealing with mites. Unfortunately, Chris here, who is my black-headed python, he's been hit by them. He and 3 others have gotten mites. So in the comments down below, I'll leave a story on how I believe these animals got the mites. But anyway, we'll get into it now. So Chris here, he's my black-headed python. He's housed in a 4-foot enclosure, currently fed on medium-sized rats. So within the enclosure, we've got his log hide that he's sitting in. Got his rock hide over here, his ceramic heat globe, light just to light up the enclosure, his backing, 3 rocks, a fake plant, and his water dish. Paper towel for now until his mite problem is solved. And where he's sitting now gets about 30 degrees Celsius, while on the other side here gets about 28 degrees Celsius. Housed in this 3-foot Reptile 1 enclosure is Molly, with my female jungle carpet python. They're gorgeous. So she's currently fed on extra large adult mice. So over here we've got her log hide, which gets about 28 degrees Celsius. We have a branch that gets about 33 degrees Celsius. We have a substrate, which is the aspen snake bedding, a rock, a fake stick, water bowl, another hide over there. Gets about 26 over here. We've got a backing and just another light up there, just to lighten up her enclosure. In this 3-foot exoterior enclosure, we have Chappie and Orchid, who are my 2 Centralian carpet pythons. Chappie is currently fed on large rats, and Orchid is on medium-sized rats for the time being. So in the enclosure, we've got their water bowl. We've got 3 hides in here, so we've got a log, a pipe, and a nice big rock hide for them to hide in together. We have a couple of fake plants within the enclosure, a backing, a ledge, or 2 ledges for them to sit on. Up here gets about 30 degrees Celsius, while on the stick in the second platform gets about 26. And where they're sitting now is 28 degrees Celsius. So we've got a moonlight heat globe up there and 2 normal white globes just to lighten up the enclosure. Here we have Crystal, who's my little female pygmy bearded dragon. She's currently housed in a 2-foot US enclosure. So within the enclosure we have the coconut fibre as the substrate. We have a rock, a stick which we bask, which is around the 31 degrees Celsius. We have an ornament, 3 fake plants in here, a water bowl, her food bowl, her hide, a nice fake backing, UV heat, which I just use a Philip 60-watt focus beam globe. So with my bearded dragons, I tend to feed them bok choy, carrot, kale, apple, sometimes strawberries, superworms, and crickets. Next animal here is Bam Bam, who's my male pygmy bearded dragon. He's currently housed in a 3-foot exoterior enclosure. So within the enclosure, we've got his foam backing, we've got his hammock, we've got his brick where you can sit on and also hide under. Gets about 31 degrees Celsius. We've got a fake plant, a dragon head, water bowl with his food bowl. We've got his log hide back here. So it gets about 25 degrees on this side. And the substrate is the coconut fibre. In this 3-foot reptile enclosure, we have Rex, who is my male Centralian bearded dragon. So in this enclosure, we've got his silicone rock that he's sitting on. Gets about 32 degrees. We've got a foam backing, his fake plants. We've got a couple of rocks down here, which gets about 30 degrees. His substrate is that coconut fibre. The food is the same diet as Crystal and Bam Bam. We've got his water bowl, a couple of sticks, his hide, his UV, and his heat globe. So he's housed in the 3-foot enclosure like I said before. So that's Rex. Housed in the 3-foot custom enclosure, we've got Superstar and Graham, who are my 2 female blind spot pythons. So Graham's just curled up in there at the moment. I can't get a good angle of her, but she's in there. While Superstar here, she's just shedded out a couple of hours ago, so she's nice and fresh. So within the enclosure, we've got a couple of big hides for them. So we've got a custom built hide from here, a log hide, and a couple of rock hides that can hide in separately. Got a light in here just to lighten it up with a nice backing. We've got the 100-watt moonlight globe, which gets about 32 degrees Celsius on that side. Over here gets about 25. Got a fake plant, a stick, a rock, and a bit of wood in here just to help them shed, along with their water bowl. And usually I use the aspen snake bedding as their bedding, but since we have that mite problem, I just put on paper towel for the time being. And both are fed on extra large adult mice. Housed in this 3-foot enclosure, we've got Emma, who is my male blind spot python. He's a pretty bitey snake, so I've got to be careful. He freshly shedded out the other day as well, so he's looking nice and fresh. Watch your head, buddy. Now this guy is currently fed on extra large adult mice. So we're sitting now, it's about 30 degrees Celsius. We have a couple of 60 for him to perch on. We'll climb up if he wants to. We've got his paper towel, his rocks to help him shed, fake plant, his another hide which gets about 25 degrees Celsius on that side, a water bowl, and he's got his light tube up here just to light up the enclosure, And I don't know if I said this before, but he's currently fed on extra large adult mice. Here you have Charles, who is my albino Darwin copper python. Unfortunately, this was another one of my animals that got hit by the mite problem, but he's recovered quite well thanks to the treatment I've been doing. So he's set up his 2-foot Reptile 1 enclosure. He shares the light tube with Emma. He's got his 2-1 hide that can go in. Where he's sitting now, he's got a heat pad which gets about 32 degrees Celsius. Over there, he gets about 28 degrees. Got a bit of wood in here. He's got his fake plants. He's got a couple of rocks in here and his water bowl. Now, Charles here is currently fed on ringed mice, but will soon be upgraded to the larger size mice soon. Here you have the diva of the reptile room, Akko, who is my female eastern wood dragon. She's currently housed in a 4-foot Euros enclosure. So within the enclosure, we have a substrate, which is just a mixture of the coconut fibre and sand. We have pieces of wood in here for the bask on. Got a fake plant, slab of wood that she can sit on. A few rocks to get into a pond, which she just dirtied today. I'll turn off her heat for the time being because it was flickering, which is quite annoying on camera. We've got a nice backing for her UV, her hammock that she likes to sit on, her stick, and her food bowl, which we give her kale, bok choy, strawberry, apple, carrot, and blueberries on occasion, along with superworms and crickets. The next two animals we're going to cover off here are Salt and Pepper, who are my two banded lobtail geckos. Both of them are in a very identical setup, so I'll just do both of them at the same time. So both of them are housed in 1-foot Reptile Zoo enclosures with the sand as a substrate. Both got corner water bowls, a rock in there for them to sit on. Both have an extra terrier hide. So they're salty. So they're kind of fed on crickets, just mainly that's their diet. So along the center here gets about 30 degrees Celsius, while the back and front of the enclosure gets about 28 degrees. I've got a contact that goes around the outside of the enclosure just to make sure it keeps nice and dark for them. So there's Pepper. So Pepper is the male and Salt's the female. Now I won't be breeding these guys just because in the past Salt here had complications when she was gravid, and I don't want to risk her life to have more babies. In this enclosure we have Diablo, who is my brown tree snake, who's currently fed on fuzzy mice. So his enclosure is set up, we have 2 hides. So the rock one there gets about 30 degrees Celsius, while the other one here gets about 28 with his water bowl. I'll keep him on paper towel just because he eats in the enclosure, because he feels the most comfortable in his enclosure. We have his rock, got a stick for him to go up. I made this crevice thing for him so he can feel a bit more secure within the enclosure. And being nocturnal, I've kind of blanked off the sides just to keep it all nice and dark for him. So the last animals we've got to cover off is my skink rack. So we've got 2 eastern blue tongue skinks, a lowland blotched blue tongue, and a shingleback down the bottom. So we'll start off with Blue and Bo, who are my 2 eastern blue tongue skinks, who unfortunately both end up getting mites. Both don't have his paper towel, so I won't bother him. So since they're both in identical setups, I'll just show Bluey's. So both of them have a heating UV. It's about 30 degrees on top of their hide, which is custom built. We've got the paper towel since these poor guys got mites. And I think they are getting better, so fingers crossed these mites will go away. Both of them have a brick, a rock, their water bowl. So Blue here's destroyed his food bowl. We've got his fake plant. While with Bo down here, similar with him. Got a nice backing as well to go with it. Another fake plant. So these guys, their diet is the carrot, kale, bok choy, chicken flavoured dog food, apple, and blueberries. On occasion I do these guys superworms and crickets. This here is Blaine, who is my female lowland blotched blue tongue. Her enclosure is very identical to Blue and Bo, but her brand is Exo Terrier. So unlike Blue and Bo, she has 2 hides as she's a very shy lizard. So she's got 2 UV globes up here along with a heat globe. We've got a brick, foam backing, fake plant, a couple of rocks for her to get on top of this hide here. We have a water bowl and a food bowl, which is the same diet as Blue and Bo. Now, she's quite lucky she hasn't got mites yet, but I'm hoping she doesn't get them, just for her health and safety as well. So that's really bad with my blue tongues. The last animal we'll go into now is Monty, who is my male shingleback skink. The last reptile we've got to cover off for today's video, guys, is Monty, who is my male shingleback skink. He's currently housed in a 4-foot Reptile Zoo enclosure. So in the enclosure we've got his substrate, which is the coconut fibre. In his hide we've got a bit of cardboard just for him to sit on while he sleeps. We have his hide built for him. Over here gets about 33 degrees Celsius, as they like to have it hot. We have a big heat globe, 100 watt focus beam globe, keep him nice and warm. We have a nice backing, got his UV, got a brick and a few rocks in here for him to climb on. He's got his stick that he can push over if he wanted to. Over here he's got his water bowl and his food bowl. So he's the same diet as Bluey, Bo and Blaine, also Akko, as these guys share a similar diet. But this guy here, for some reason, he doesn't take crickets, he doesn't take his superworms. He's happy on his leafy greens. So that's it for today's video, guys. Hope you enjoyed today's video. Any questions, guys, or comments, leave them down below. And thanks for watching, guys. And I'll see you all in another video.